Rejection is one of the most painful experiences a person can go through. But what if I told you that rejection is not really about loss? What if I told you that rejection is actually redirection? That the very thing you are crying over today is the thing that will lead you to the life you were meant to have. You see, when a man chooses another woman over you, it is easy to internalize that experience. It is easy to sit and wonder what you did wrong, what you could have done differently, or why you weren't enough. The mind will race through every memory, analyzing every moment, trying to pinpoint the exact place where things went wrong. But that kind of thinking is a trap. It is an illusion. The truth is, nothing went wrong. Nothing was lost. The only thing that happened is that life stepped in and removed someone who was never truly meant to be in your future. When we experience rejection, our first reaction is emotional pain. It's natural to feel hurt, disappointed, and even betrayed when someone we invested in decides to choose another person. But let's shift perspectives for a moment. Instead of seeing rejection as something happening to you, what if you started seeing it as something happening for you? What if you could recognize that what seems like a setback is actually a setup for something far greater? Because that is exactly what it is. Every single time you are rejected, whether in love, career, or friendships, you are being redirected towards something better. But most people never see it that way. They become so consumed by the feeling of loss that they miss the fact that they have just been set free from something that was not serving them. Think about it like this. Imagine you are driving toward a destination, but you don't realize that up ahead the road is blocked. If you continue on the same path, you will eventually hit a dead end. Now imagine someone coming along and telling you to turn around. At first, you may feel frustrated. You may think, why am I being forced to change directions? I was comfortable going this way, but what you don't realize in that moment is that by changing directions, you are actually being saved from wasting time on a road that would have led nowhere. That is exactly what rejection does in your life. It feels uncomfortable. It feels unfair. But in reality, it is a blessing disguised as a loss. A man who chooses another woman over you is showing you something very important. He is showing you that he was never truly aligned with you. He is showing you that his heart, his energy, and his vision for the future did not match yours. And rather than forcing something that was never meant to work, life simply removed him from your path. But instead of seeing it as a closed door, most women chase after what has already left. They try to prove their worth, try to win him back, or try to understand why he made the choice he did. But all of that energy is wasted because no amount of convincing can make the wrong person stay. If he was meant for you, he would not have left. If he truly saw your value, he would not have needed to compare you to anyone else. You must understand something powerful. The universe, life, or God, whatever you believe in, will never take something away without replacing it with something greater. The problem is that most people never stay patient enough to see what that greater thing is. They become so fixated on what they lost that they never make space for what is coming. If a man chooses another woman, let him go. Not because you are bitter, not because you want revenge, but because you trust that life is redirecting you towards something far better than what you were holding on to. Every time you feel the sting of rejection, remind yourself that you are being positioned for something greater. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask, what is this making space for? Most women who experience heartbreak fail to realize that years later they will look back and thank life for that rejection. How many times have you seen someone from your past and thought, wow, I really dodged a bullet? How many times have you thanked yourself for walking away from something that you once thought you could not live without? That is proof that rejection is never really rejection. It is life stepping in and saying, you deserve more than this. You deserve better than this. And because you cannot see it for yourself right now, I am going to take this person away so that you do not waste another second of your precious time. The problem is that most people only see rejection in the moment. They see the immediate loss, the immediate pain, and they become consumed by it. But if you could step outside of your emotions and see the bigger picture, you would understand that nothing is being taken from you. It is being replaced. It is like cleaning out your closet. If you refuse to let go of old clothes, there will never be room for new ones. The same applies to people. When you hold on to what is no longer meant for you, you block the blessings that are trying to reach you. When you truly understand that rejection is redirection, you stop taking things personally. You stop chasing, begging, or proving yourself to people who fail to see your value. You stop asking why her and not me, because you realize that the answer does not matter. What matters is that you were just freed from something that was never truly meant for you. You are now available for something far greater, something that aligns with who you are becoming. So instead of feeling rejected, start feeling grateful. Instead of seeing loss, start seeing gain. Because every time someone walks away from your life, it means something better is on its way. A woman who knows her worth never begs to be chosen. She never sits around wondering why someone did not pick her, because she understands something powerful. She is the prize. She does not chase, she does not compete, and she does not lower herself just to fit into someone else's version of love. The moment you start seeing yourself as the prize, everything changes. You no longer seek validation from a man who cannot recognize your value. You no longer try to prove yourself to someone who is blind to what you bring to the table. Instead, you stand firm in the knowledge that you are enough just as you are. A woman who understands this walks differently, moves differently, and carries herself with a quiet confidence that cannot be ignored. When a man chooses another woman over you, it is easy to feel like you have lost. It is easy to fall into the trap of thinking that she must have something you don't. Maybe she's prettier, maybe she's younger, maybe she's more exciting. But those thoughts are dangerous because they make you forget who you are. They make you forget that no one else in this world can be you. No one else can bring what you bring to the table. And if he failed to see that, then he was never the right man for you in the first place. A real man, a man who is truly worthy of your energy, will never put you in a position where you have to wonder if you are enough. He will never make you question your worth, because the right man doesn't hesitate. He doesn't need to compare you to anyone else. He knows your value from the start. Most women make the mistake of thinking they need to compete. They think that if they just change something about themselves, if they just become more like the woman he chose, then maybe he will come back. But the moment you start trying to change yourself for a man is the moment you lose yourself. You were never meant to shrink yourself just to fit into someone else's idea of love. You were never meant to mold yourself into what someone else wants. The moment you do that, you lose your power. And the moment you lose your power, you start attracting people who only want the weaker version of you. A high-value woman never lowers her crown to make a man feel like a king. She knows that her presence is a gift. She knows that love should never feel like a competition. If a man is still trying to figure out whether you are the right one, he has already given you your answer. Because the right man will see you and know. He will not need to test the waters elsewhere. He will not need to compare you to another woman. He will recognize your value the moment he meets you. And if he does not, then he is not the one. Most women have been conditioned to believe that they must work for love, that they must prove themselves to be worthy of a man's attention. Society has taught women that being chosen is the goal, that getting picked is the prize. But that is the biggest lie ever told. You were never meant to sit around waiting for a man to pick you. You were never meant to dim your light just so someone else could shine. You were never meant to fight for a place in someone's life. The moment you start seeing yourself as the prize, you stop waiting, you stop proving, you stop settling, because you understand that the right man will recognize your value without you having to convince him. A woman who is secure in her worth does not tolerate half love. She does not accept bare minimum effort. She does not hold on to a man who treats her like an option. She walks away without fear. She understands that letting go of the wrong person is not a loss, it is a gain. It is a gain in self-respect, in dignity, and in personal power. She knows that when she walks away, she is making space for the right man to come into her life. A man who does not need to be convinced. A man who does not need to be begged. A man who is ready, willing, and capable of giving her the love she deserves. It is not your job to convince a man to choose you. It is not your responsibility to make someone see your worth. If he does not recognize it on his own, he is not the man for you. Because the man who is truly meant for you will never put you in a position where you feel like you have to compete. He will never make you question your place in his life. He will never make you feel like you are one of many options. The right man will move mountains to be with you. The wrong man will make excuses. The right man will make you feel safe. The wrong man will make you feel uncertain. The right man will see your value from day one. The wrong man will only realize it once you are gone. Most women spend too much time trying to hold on to a man who has already shown them that he is not the one. They try to change his mind. They try to prove that they are better than the woman he left them for. But a woman who knows her worth does not play those games. She does not need to prove anything to anyone. She understands that her energy is sacred and that not everyone deserves access to it. She understands that if a man chooses another woman, it is his loss, not hers. She understands that she does not need to fight for what is already hers. A woman who is truly confident in her worth never fears losing a man. She knows that the right man will never put her in a position where she has to fight to be chosen. She knows that her love is a gift, not a privilege. She knows that her time is valuable, and she refuses to waste it on someone who cannot see her worth. She understands that she is the prize. And because of that, she never begs, she never chases, and she never competes. She simply lets go and trusts that the right man, the man who truly deserves her, will find her exactly where she is. Heartbreak has a way of making you forget who you are. It makes you question everything. Your worth, your beauty, your intelligence, and even your ability to be loved. When a man chooses another woman, it is easy to fall into the trap of self-doubt. Your mind begins racing with thoughts like, what does she have that I don't? Or was I not good enough? You start analyzing every moment, searching for answers, trying to figure out what went wrong. But the real question you should be asking is, why am I allowing someone else's decision to make me forget my value? Because that's exactly what happens when you let rejection define you. You let someone's choice determine your self-worth. But here's the truth. No one else gets to decide your value. No man, no relationship, no rejection has the power to take away what you inherently are. Self-worth is not something that comes from other people. It is something that comes from within. The problem is most people have been conditioned to seek validation from external sources. They believe they are worthy only if someone chooses them, only if they are loved, only if they are wanted. But that kind of thinking is dangerous because it places your entire sense of value in the hands of another person. The moment you do that, you give away your power. You allow someone else's choices to dictate how you feel about yourself. But a woman who truly knows her worth understands that her value does not change based on someone's ability to recognize it. A diamond remains a diamond whether someone sees it or not. Gold remains gold whether it is locked in a vault or displayed for the world to see. Your worth does not decrease just because someone failed to see it. The moment you start seeing yourself through your own eyes rather than the eyes of a man, everything changes. You stop waiting for someone to validate you. You stop allowing someone's lack of appreciation to make you feel like you are not enough. Because the truth is, when a man chooses another woman, it is not a reflection of you. It is a reflection of him. It speaks to his values, his preferences, and his own personal journey. It has nothing to do with your worth. But most women take it personally. They internalize rejection as proof that they were not beautiful enough, smart enough, or desirable enough. They fall into the trap of thinking, if I had just done more, if I had been better, maybe he would have stayed. But love does not work like that. A man does not leave because you lack something. A man leaves because he was never truly meant for you. The mistake most women make is tying their identity to a relationship. They believe that their value comes from being loved by someone else. That is why breakups feel so painful. It is not just the loss of the relationship that hurts. It is the loss of the identity they built around that relationship. But the truth is, you were whole before him, and you are whole without him. You do not need a relationship to be complete. You do not need someone else's love to prove that you are worthy. The moment you understand this, you stop giving your power away. You stop trying to prove yourself to people who do not deserve you. You stop chasing after validation that should have never been external in the first place. The world has conditioned women to believe that being chosen is the ultimate goal, that being loved by a man somehow validates their existence. But that belief is what keeps so many women stuck in cycles of heartbreak. They believe they must prove their worth to be loved. They believe they must compete for attention. But a woman who truly understands her value does not compete. She does not need to. She knows that she is enough just as she is. She knows that if a man fails to see her worth, it is not her loss. It is his. Because she understands that the right man will never need convincing. The right man will recognize her value without her having to prove it. Healing from rejection starts with remembering who you are. It starts with breaking free from the idea that your worth is tied to a relationship. It starts with understanding that a man's inability to see your value does not make you any less valuable. Most women do not take the time to heal after rejection. They jump into another relationship hoping that someone else will make them feel worthy again. But true healing comes from within. It comes from sitting with yourself, from reminding yourself of everything you bring to the table. It comes from shifting your perspective from why wasn't I enough to why did I think he was worthy of me in the first place. The real power lies in knowing that rejection is not a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of what is no longer meant for you. When a man leaves, he is making space for something better. When a relationship ends, it is clearing the way for something that aligns with who you are becoming. But most people never see it that way. They become so consumed by the pain of loss that they miss the opportunity that loss creates. They spend so much time looking back, trying to hold on to what was, that they never look forward to what is coming. Rejection is not the end of your story, it is the beginning of a new one. It is an opportunity to rebuild, to grow, to step into the highest version of yourself. But that only happens when you stop seeking validation from external sources and start recognizing your own power. When you stop basing your worth on whether or not a man chooses you and start realizing that you were never meant to wait for someone else to see your value. Because the truth is, you were always enough. You just needed to see it for yourself. When a man chooses another woman, the natural response is to feel rejected, unworthy, or even betrayed. The mind immediately starts racing, searching for reasons, trying to make sense of what happened. Was I not good enough? Was I not attractive enough? Did I do something wrong? But this kind of thinking only leads to self-doubt, self-pity, and unnecessary pain. The truth is, what someone else chooses to do is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of their values, their mindset, and their own personal journey. The moment you shift your perspective and realize that rejection is actually redirection, everything changes. Instead of seeing it as a loss, you start to recognize it as a blessing in disguise. People who belong in your life will never have to be convinced to stay. You will never have to prove your worth to the right person. The problem is, too many women hold on to men who have already emotionally or physically checked out. They keep replaying the relationship in their minds, wondering where things went wrong. But the moment a man chooses another woman, he has already made his decision. And if he has made that decision, why should you hold on to something that is no longer yours? Why should you waste your energy dwelling on someone who did not see your value? The most powerful thing you can do in this situation is let go. Because holding on will only cause more pain. Letting go is not about weakness. It is about strength. It takes courage to walk away from something that once meant so much to you. It takes strength to accept that someone who once promised to love you has chosen a different path. But that strength is what sets apart women who truly value themselves. They understand that clinging to the past does not change the future. They understand that trying to force someone to stay only diminishes their own power. A woman who truly values herself does not beg, does not chase, and does not try to convince a man to see her worth. She simply walks away with her dignity intact, knowing that what is truly meant for her will never need to be forced. Most women fear letting go because they believe they are losing something valuable. But the truth is, you are not losing anything. You are gaining yourself. You are gaining clarity, self-respect, and the opportunity to attract something far greater. The longer you hold on to something that is not meant for you, the longer you delay the blessings that are waiting for you. Because the universe does not work in confusion. When you hold on to the past, you block the future. When you cling to someone who has already moved on, you keep yourself stuck in an emotional prison. And the only way to free yourself is to let go, to release the attachment, and to trust that something better is coming. Letting go is not just about moving on from a person. It is about moving on from the need to be validated by someone else. Too many people tie their self-worth to whether or not someone stays in their life. But real self-worth is independent of external circumstances. It does not waver based on who chooses to be in your life. A truly confident woman does not need validation from a man to know her value. She does not seek approval from someone who has already made the decision to walk away. She understands that her worth is not determined by a relationship, but by how she sees herself. The moment you start valuing yourself, you stop fearing loss. You stop being afraid of walking away from situations that no longer serve you, because you understand that walking away is not losing, it is winning. It is winning your power back, winning your peace of mind, winning your freedom. You were never meant to beg for love. You were never meant to convince someone to see your worth. If a man does not recognize your value, he is not the right man for you. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can step into the life you truly deserve. The key to truly letting go is shifting your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Most people stay stuck in unhealthy relationships because they believe they will never find someone better. They convince themselves that this person was their only chance at love. But that kind of thinking is rooted in fear, not truth. The truth is, there are billions of people in this world. There is love waiting for you that is deeper, stronger, and more fulfilling than anything you have experienced before. But you will never find it if you are too busy holding on to something that was never meant for you. Letting go is not about ignoring your feelings. It is not about pretending that you do not care. It is about acknowledging your emotions, processing them, and then making the conscious decision to move forward. You are allowed to grieve, to feel the pain, to mourn the loss of what once was. But you are not meant to stay in that place forever. You are meant to heal, to rise, to step into a higher version of yourself. You are meant to let go of what is not serving you so that you can make space for what truly aligns with you. Every time you let go of something that is not meant for you, you are telling the universe that you are ready for something better. You are declaring that you deserve more. You are affirming that you refuse to settle for anything less than what you truly desire. And that kind of mindset is what attracts abundance. That kind of mindset is what brings the right people into your life. The moment you stop chasing, the moment you stop begging, the moment you stop clinging to things that are not meant for you, is the moment everything starts to shift in your favor. Letting go is not a loss, it is a gain. It is gaining peace, gaining clarity, gaining freedom. It is stepping into your power and refusing to settle for anything less than what you deserve. It is choosing yourself over someone who did not choose you. It is realizing that the real prize was never the relationship. The moment you shift your focus from what was lost to what is being gained, your entire perspective changes. Too often, when a man chooses another woman, the immediate reaction is to feel defeated, abandoned, or somehow unworthy. But in reality, what you thought was a loss was actually a redirection to something greater. The problem is that most people are so caught up in their emotions that they cannot see beyond the pain. They allow their minds to dwell in the past, replaying conversations, overanalyzing moments, and searching for answers that no longer matter. But when you dwell in the past, you block yourself from receiving the blessings of the future. Instead of seeing rejection as an end, start seeing it as a door that needed to close so that you could finally walk toward what was always meant for you. Your energy is your most valuable asset. Where you place your attention determines the quality of your life. If your energy is constantly tied to someone who has moved on, you are depriving yourself of the power to create something new. The reason many women struggle to move forward after heartbreak is that they keep feeding the past with their energy. They continue to stalk their ex on social media, compare themselves to the new woman, and entertain thoughts of revenge or proving their worth. But all of that is wasted energy. Every second spent thinking about the past is a second stolen from your future. When you choose to redirect your energy inward, when you make the conscious decision to invest in yourself rather than in a man who has already made his choice, that is when you truly win. A woman who understands her power does not dwell in spaces where she is not appreciated. She does not waste her time trying to understand why someone else failed to recognize her worth. Instead, she recognizes that every rejection, every closed door, every moment of pain is simply the universe clearing the path for something greater. But the only way to receive that greater blessing is to shift your energy toward what actually matters: yourself, your growth, and your future. The truth is, you cannot fully step into the next chapter of your life if you are still rereading the last one. You cannot attract something better if you are still holding on to something that was never meant for you. The key to reclaiming your energy is to stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as the prize. When you shift your mindset from "why did this happen to me" to "what is this teaching me," everything changes. Pain is a powerful teacher, but only if you are willing to learn from it. Most people waste their pain. They allow it to consume them rather than transform them. But the truth is, pain is not meant to break you. It is meant to rebuild you. It is meant to strip away the illusions, the insecurities, the self-doubt, and force you to see yourself for who you truly are. And when you use that pain as fuel, when you take all that energy and channel it into self-improvement, you become unstoppable. Think about it. How much energy do people waste dwelling on the past? How much time is lost scrolling through old pictures, reminiscing about what was, or obsessing over what could have been? But none of that changes the reality of the situation. None of that brings the relationship back. None of that helps you grow. The only thing that does is shifting your energy inward. Imagine if all the energy spent on heartbreak was redirected toward personal growth. Imagine if every thought about the past was replaced with a thought about the future. Imagine if instead of feeling unworthy because of someone else's decision, you use that moment to remind yourself of everything you bring to the table. That is where true power lies. Not in holding on to what is gone, but in embracing what is coming. The woman who reclaims her energy does not waste time trying to prove herself. She does not get caught up in competition with another woman because she knows that no one else is her competition. She understands that what is meant for her will always be for her, and what is not meant for her will always find a way to leave. She does not question her worth because she knows that no rejection, no breakup, no decision made by another person has the power to take away what she is. When she sees another woman being chosen over her, she does not react with jealousy, insecurity, or resentment. Instead, she reacts with gratitude because she understands that when one door closes, it is only because something far greater is waiting for her ahead. Reclaiming your energy means taking back your power. It means no longer allowing external circumstances to dictate how you feel about yourself. It means waking up every day and deciding that you are in control of your own happiness. Too many people go through life allowing others to determine their emotional state. They give their power away to relationships, to circumstances, to people who do not deserve that level of influence over them. But the moment you take your energy back, the moment you stop letting someone else's choices define you, you step into the highest version of yourself. You become the kind of woman who does not need validation from anyone else because she validates herself. A woman who reclaims her energy is a woman who knows that nothing outside of her can truly break her. She understands that rejection is just redirection. She does not waste time comparing herself to another woman because she knows that her only competition is who she was yesterday. She does not dwell on the past because she is too focused on building her future. And most importantly, she does not allow someone else's choice to make her question her own value. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that truly matters is how you see yourself. And the moment you decide to reclaim your energy, the moment you shift your focus inward, that is the moment you truly begin to win. The growth is the ultimate form of revenge, but not in the way most people think. When someone chooses another person over you, the natural instinct is to feel replaced, discarded, or unworthy. The mind wants to seek validation, to prove that you were a better choice, to show them what they lost. But the most powerful response is not to engage in competition, not to prove anything to anyone else, but to elevate yourself so high that their decision becomes irrelevant. Real revenge is not about making them regret their choice. It is about reaching a level where you no longer care about their choice at all. The real win is in becoming so fulfilled, so successful, so deeply aligned with your own purpose that their absence means nothing to you. Many people stay trapped in the cycle of trying to prove their worth. They think if they can just become more attractive, more successful, or more desirable, then the person who left will regret their decision. But that mindset still gives power to the other person. It still centers them in your life story. The most powerful thing you can do is shift the focus entirely. This is not about them, about who you are becoming, about how you are using this experience as a catalyst for transformation. The truth is, every setback, every disappointment, every moment of rejection is an opportunity for reinvention. The universe does not take things away without replacing them with something better. But most people miss out on that better because they are too focused. A woman who understands the power of growth does not chase. She does not compete for attention. She does not beg for someone to recognize her value. Instead, she becomes so focused on becoming the best version of herself that she naturally attracts better opportunities, better relationships, and better experiences. She understands that her value is not dependent on whether or not a man chooses her. Her value is innate. It exists regardless of who stays or who leaves. And the moment she realizes that, she becomes unstoppable. Growth does not happen in comfort. It happens in moments of pain, in moments of loss, in moments where you are forced to confront yourself. The reason so many people stay stuck after a breakup is that they resist this process. They refuse to face the emotions, the lessons, the opportunities hidden in the experience. They distract themselves. They numb the pain. They look for quick fixes. But true transformation requires a different approach. It requires sitting with the discomfort, embracing the lessons and using them as fuel. Every great success story begins with a moment of hardship. Every strong, confident, powerful woman you admire has faced rejection, has experienced loss, has been overlooked. The difference is that she did not let it break her. She let it build her. Imagine looking back a year from now and realizing that what felt like the worst thing to ever happen to you was actually the best thing. Imagine seeing yourself thriving, glowing, successful, unbothered. Imagine reaching a point where the thought of the person who left no longer triggers pain but gratitude, because their departure was the very thing that pushed you toward your highest potential. That future is entirely possible, but only if you choose to grow instead of dwell. Only if you choose to use this situation as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Only if you decide that this experience is not a setback, but a setup for something far greater. Too many people stay stagnant because they are afraid of change. They cling to what is familiar, even if it no longer serves them. They resist growth because growth requires discomfort, and discomfort is painful. But the pain of growth is temporary. The pain of staying the same, of remaining stuck in old patterns, of living in the past, that pain lasts forever. Every single time you choose to elevate instead of wallow, you reclaim your power. Every time you choose to invest in yourself, instead of seeking validation from someone who left, you shift the energy in your favor. Every time you take a step forward instead of looking back, you get closer to the life that is truly meant for you. Growth is not just about success in the external world. It is about evolving internally. It is about shifting your mindset, strengthening your confidence, and developing a level of self-love that is unshakable. Because when you truly love yourself, rejection does not feel like rejection. It feels like redirection. When you truly love yourself, you do not take someone else's choice personally, because you understand that their decision is about them, not you. When you truly love yourself, you stop looking for revenge and start looking for opportunities to become better, wiser, and more aligned with your true purpose. A woman who embraces growth does not waste time on people who do not see her worth. She does not lower herself to prove a point. She does not seek validation from those who could not appreciate her. She simply rises. She levels up. She moves forward with grace and confidence. And in doing so, she naturally attracts better people, better opportunities, and a better life. She becomes so focused on her own journey that she no longer has time to dwell on what was lost. She understands that what was removed was never truly meant for her in the first place. The best version of you is waiting on the other side of this experience. The woman you are becoming is stronger, wiser, and more powerful than the woman you were before. But the only way to meet her is to keep moving forward. The only way to reach her is to embrace the lessons, to use the pain as fuel, and to commit to your growth. Because at the end of the day, the real revenge is not making someone else regret losing you. The real revenge is becoming someone so fulfilled, so radiant, so deeply in love with her own life, that their absence feels like nothing more than a faded memory.